What's going on, YouTubers? What's good? East New York's Finest, hosted by Mike. It's been a weird and harsh week. Excuse me, or should I say last week for me? My motorcycle caught fire. My Yamaha Roadstar, aka the Harley Killer, as they call it. Um, I'm not gonna go into those details because the police and the arson investigators told me don't do no social media talking about it. But it's suspicious. I'm just gonna put it as that. Bikes, especially a bike like that, just doesn't catch fire on top of the engine underneath the tank. We have issues with a neighbor over things that's going on, and I'm just gonna leave it as that. We'll let the cameras and everything else and the law work that out. That's all I'm gonna say. Technically, I shouldn't have said that much, but I'm okay. I was on my bike when it caught fire, but I didn't get not even a bruise, thank God. And I've always been told from old guys, always wear heavy or denim jeans when you're on a bike like a road bike. I mean, like a cruiser, a road bike, what we want to call it. Like if it's not I mean, technically you should always cover your legs on any bike, even a sport bike or super sport like my Gixxer 1000. But sometimes I'll wear shorts or joggers with on those because the engines are lighter and you have a lot of plastics or fairings covering the engine, so you don't have to worry about heat because you're basically shielded. And again, it's a different engine. The engine is like a high performance engine and deal more with speed and lightweight than a bike that you can go. I mean, you can ride any bike anywhere. But anyway, so I don't wear jeans. To me, they're too constructive. I mean, well, too constrictive. Excuse me. And I brought a lot of jeans just to wear when I'm on that bike, because it helps shield from heat and stuff like that. And good thing I've always listened to people and always wore them because I would have had a burnt up, messed up knee if I didn't have those jeans on. The jeans did have burn marks on it because I was like, damn, why is my right leg so hot? I looked down and fucking fire is fucking literally spitting out on top of the engine underneath the tank. So I'm like, oh shit. So it was crazy. But anyhow, enough of that. I've been talking about that for about 2 minutes now. So basically this video supposedly be about the hacks and my thoughts on collectibles or on G.I. Joe. I went from not knowing anything about the 97 to '06 G.I. Joe stuff to knowing a little bit more about it. So much to the point for the last year or so that I've actually forgotten a lot of the names and years of my 82 to 94 Joes, which I knew every fucking body's name. To the point where I knew what weapons went with who without even looking in the book. But now I have brain fatigue because this wave, I've been concentrating so much on this wave that I forget. I have brain farts when it comes to a lot of the 82 to 94 stuff. So some of you guys probably seen that I posted or heard rumored or whatever that I posted my 82 to 94 G.I. Joe line along with the 97 to '06 line. Yes, the rumor is true. I have. I have all the 82 to 94 stuff sealed in New York. I mean, all of it. And I was like, you know what? If I get a really good enough offer to where I'm satisfied with either one of these rooms, I would sell it. And I'll probably just turn this room more into Hot Toys and 1/6 scale stuff. Bring everything from downstairs up here, and then the other room I would probably give. I know what I'll do with that room. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts and plan, if that be. But I would have to be comfortable. Because to be honest with you guys, I got well over $60,000 in this room alone, just in my office. Some of you might say, get the fuck out of here. Let me tell you something. I went to Joe Fest with the idea of spending about $16,000 or so. My plan was to get as much, or I thought I would get as much of the 97 to '06 stuff that I needed because I thought this stuff was pretty cheap and not wanted. some of this shit in this fucking line is more scarce, more harder, and more expensive than a lot of this shit in the 8294 line. Some of you might say, get the fuck out of here. No, I'm not gonna get the fuck out of here. I am dead at, I'm as serious as a cancer die, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's crazy. This fucking line is bananas, man. I mean, you have a lot of commons in anything. You have a lot of commons in the 92, the 82 to 94 G.I. Joe line. And you have a lot of commons in this line. This line does have a lot of crazy ass variations. I don't know, and it's funny, I know more about the variations in this line than I do in the original G1 82 to 94 line. Because there's a lot of figures that there are variations. And I'm not just talking about Zorana. We all know Zorana have variations with and without the earrings and stuff like that. But there's a lot of figures that are variations in that 82 to 94 line that I always overlooked, never noticed until I got the figure or heard from this one or seen stuff online. I'm like, oh shit. So when I went to Joe Fest, my plan on Saturday was to get as much of the 82 to 94 stuff that I needed. And I, along with Fam Eric, I think a lot of people were very overwhelmed. Like, your eyes can only see so much colors and so much shit. Your body can only deal with so much before you get anxious and agitated with so much shit. Because you're like, what the fuck? You know, you have a brain overload and you're like, oh my God. You know what I mean? And that's basically how I felt. I was like that. I mean, I was at one booth for like almost 2 hours and I was bugging the fuck out. I had to leave. I was like, yo, enough of this shit. I had to leave. It was just too much. Way too much. So you can be overwhelmed and get very, very anxious, even if you really, really love and want something. Trust me, I know. You know what I'm saying? It was like that. But I was lucky enough to concentrate, and Fam Eric, we both win half on the Night Force stuff, because there was stuff he needed and there was stuff I needed. And, you know, one thing I got to say about him, not a greedy person. You know, we've done business with each other. We're buying stuff off of people. And he's not that kind of person. And I appreciate that, because you don't get that a lot. And, you know, and with him, you know, it's not like that. All right, yo, you want this, you want that. All right, fine. And we just switched up. We did that with sneakers. We've done that with toys that we brought from an individual named, a French lady named Cece. Thanks to my man Lev, who owns Toy Tokyo. For that hookup, and then about a little over a month or so later, we actually hooked up with clothing, and you know, he took stuff for his kids. I mean, it was, you know, I was like, yo, go ahead, you know, do you, and you know, it is what it is, because I'm that kind of person, and it's good to meet somebody who's like that as well, because you know, I really don't give a flying pluck, you know what I mean, and he's the same way, so that's very, 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 very cool, and you know, Fam Alex, his brother's cool. I mean, we haven't done business with each other, but you know, I go over his house and I freeload. He got a fucking, you know, man made a lot of, you know, he spent a lot of money on the fucking swimming pool, that bastard. Yeah, man. So you know, I go over his house and freeload off of him and his wife and shit. You know, don't tell him, don't say shit. He's like, look at this goofy ass nigga. Man, fuck that nigga. That's probably what he's saying right now as he's looking at this. But yeah, I love them too, man. Real cool young brothers. But yeah, getting back to this. So, and we actually had a really, really good time at the show. But yeah, so my plan was to go there. I had an extra 4,000 on me, but my plan wasn't to spend that unless I really needed to, and if we needed to get food or other shit. So I wound up spending the whole 20,000. Then I had to go to ATM and get another I had to get more money. So I wound up spending about 26,000 on just that trip for 2 days. You know, I'm not going to mention the fucking day I lost thanks to Eric. Motherfucker. But yeah, man, we have fun though. We're not going to go this year because and some of you are probably like, well, if you're selling these two collections, why you went to the toy show yesterday? Why you did it? Why you doing this video? Because if I can help other people learn from making the same mistakes I have, I'm going to do that. Because I made a lot of mistakes. And a lot of stuff here, I could have got everything almost boxed from the G.I. Joe lady in Columbus. But, you know, You know, my boy Eddie, who I did see yesterday. I haven't seen him in months, and I seen him yesterday. That's the guy that, because of him, I got so much G.I. Joe stuff. He also, through me, he also sold stuff to fam Eric, as well as my boy David, who really got me into getting this stuff. We actually talked each other into this years ago, and you know, he just called me up out of the blue, and we were talking. I was like, hey, funny thing, I got a lot of G.I. Joe stuff from, I had 25th, 30th, 50th, a lot of stuff from here, and the G1 G.I. Joe stuff that I had accumulated, and I was going to take to the market and sell, but I was just holding on to them, and wound up selling a lot of it, and wish I kept a lot of it, because there's a lot of figures now that I need, because again, you know, Eddie was trying to talk me into getting into this line, and I thought I was too good for it. And because I didn't like a lot of the figures, but then I started liking the females like Bombshell and a couple of other chicks from this G2 line. I'm like, yo, they're actually nice looking figures, and they look a lot more feminine than the original line. And you know, I started to not really like, but I started to be okay with a lot of the figures that weren't O-rings, or they were O-rings but shaped weird compared to the G1 stuff. And now I just love both ways. So yeah. You know, that's probably warranted on why. And I definitely, between Whatnot, I mean, let me put it, I mean, I spent over $100 and something thousand since I started with Whatnot. This year would be my second year. So, I mean, I'm buying on Whatnot. I did buy a couple of G.I. Joes that I already have on Whatnot, but individuals had them for so cheap and stuff. I did pick up, I think, 15, somewhere between 10 and maybe 15. I think on Friday or Thursday or something like that. So that's, hopefully that stuff should be coming. Because the last Whatnot deal I got, I purchased a PS5 for a friend of mine, and these assholes never sent it, and then come to find out that they were actually, they no longer exist on Whatnot. But I'm still waiting to get funded back for that. So, you know, a lot of people say it, and I'm starting to believe that Whatnot is actually going downhill, because now you have eBay, to where eBay actually is doing the same thing. Whatnot, they're doing live auctions, and you know, Whatnot has done me. They do a lot of grimy shit, and I believe they are being sued or in the process of being sued from other people from packages. Because if you buy a lot of shit, and Whatnot thing is like, they feel like, hey, well, you know, we can't refund you for everything, you know, but if you're losing a lot of shit and you're buying a lot of shit, that's common fucking sense on why you're losing a lot of shit. Because if you're buying a lot and your packages are either being stolen or not getting to you, that you can't control that. Only thing you can control is you paid for it and you should get it. And their philosophy is, you know, oh, well, maybe you're doing something. I don't do shit that I'm not supposed to do. You know, I can afford to buy shit. I don't think nobody, I mean, if a company like Target and Walmart and Walgreens and them can't afford to lose out on $300 to $400 of loss prevention a month, because it hurts their pockets, it hurts their profits and their pockets. Because let's say like a place like Walgreens, they probably make about 25, or they make under, I would say they make definitely under 30% profit off of stuff. So if you're losing, and I'm just talking about one store, if you're losing about $800 to $1,200 a month just in loss prevention, that hurts your bottom line, and that's a big corporation. So imagine a mom and pop store when they lose a couple of $100s a month. That hurts their bottom line, and that's why people go out of business. And you know, if you got a company like Target and Walmart, if they losing, like, I mean, you know, like these guys lose probably 30 to fucking 37, maybe close to 40% profit just on shoplifting. And that's why companies go out of business. They can afford to stay up because they're a big corporation, but that still hurts their bottom line. It still hurts their profits. You understand? So I don't even know why the fuck I'm saying that. I don't even know where that came from. Why do I keep going off the beaten? I mean, the beaten path. What the hell? Anyway, so I don't even know where I came from, y'all. I'm sorry, but yeah, going back to this stuff here. So, yeah, but anyway, that's why I decided that, you know, I think that price is really good for this stuff, because I paid a lot of money for this stuff. There are some figures that I've gotten way under, what they go for, and there's a lot of figures I paid what they go for, or just about. I mean, I've gotten a lot of like stuff from different people and things of that nature, and I have a lot of figures. I mean, I have almost the whole collection. I'm definitely I think it's safe to say that I'm about 85% complete in the G2 97 to '06 wave of Joes. I think that's safe to say. And the reason why I would say that is because, like for instance, this command sensor here is missing some pieces. And I'm not even just talking about complete. I'm just talking about like just the physical figures and vehicles. I am missing a lot of the DTC, which is direct to consumer figures. I'm definitely missing a nice amount of the club exclusives and fan club whatever from because I think that stuff was I think most of that was like '05 to '06. I don't think they did a lot of direct to consumer or fan club exclusives for like I would say 97 through '04. I think most of it is like '05 and '06. There are a couple of figures from '07 to '08 too that are still I don't know why my back is itching. That are that they did make. I just found out, and I'm going to explain that as well. But getting to the kinks of this and all this stuff. There are some things that I need, and the reason why I'm calling this a hack is because, like for instance, this guy here, this is Scalpel. I have two of the same one. I have one carded, and then I have this one loose. I like them so much, I just kept a loose one, not realizing, period, that there is two versions of him, and I'm using him as a prime example because he had the mask on, and it took me like a minute, literally a whole minute, a whole 60 seconds to get this shit off of him. There is another version of him, and it looks similar, but it's painted. This is molded skin, which means that the color is molded into the figure. So it's as they call it, a molded color or color mold. And then the other one it's painted on, like his face, his his pigmentation is painted on him, and you can see a slight difference on it. When I kept looking at a lot of stuff online, I think the other one is slightly paler, if that's such a word. Okay, that fell off. I just wanted to show you guys that. And again, definitely do your due diligence on this stuff, because a lot of these figures I wouldn't have had to buy again if I really paid attention to that. But again, I didn't think that it was so much variations with Joe's, which I should have known because all all toy companies do it, especially Hasbro. I mean, they're infamous for doing that nonsense. And I'm learning. I've learned and I'm learning. Here's another hack. For instance, for those people out there, this is the prime example. Now, this is the 1990, I think 1990 or 91 Sears or Melloway, not Sears, the Melloway Triple T tank. He didn't come with a Sergeant Slaughter. They just basically used the mold because they used the mold 3 times when they first made the 86 Triple T tank. Then they made, I think, the 88 or 89 version of this, which is the Night Force version. Now, I just learned from looking, and now I spent about 3 hours this morning because I was up at 5:30 in the morning, and I was like, you know what, let me just go through some of this stuff and try to get, and even if I got to pay a couple, extra, let me just get some of these weapons or accessories out the way, because a lot of people I know at high-end toy shows and shit don't have them, and they're like, oh, I don't have that piece, So I'm like, let me just get it out the way so I can finally put it in a room with the rest of the stuff, because a lot of this stuff I keep, like these are all complete. But like, for instance, the other day, like I think last week when I was telling you guys, I'm pointing out like the Night Raven and the Night Ray, which is basically like the Night Force version of the Hydrofoil. Those I kept in here and I kept them away from all this other stuff. So this way, it'll be a reminder every once in a while when I'm looking on eBay, I'll I know what I know what accessories I need to complete them. Let me tell you guys something. I'm so idiotic, and this can help you guys. And this may sound stupid or cliche to a lot of you. This motherfucking missile is the same fucking missile that's on the Night Force version of this. Is that like that clear infrared? Some of y'all be like, really? No. Well, let me, I thought it was a dark. I never thought about it. I kept looking at pictures. I'm like, why is this one keep coming up? So I was like, yo, you know what? Let me walk my dumb ass to the room, to my G.I. Joe room. Man, I went to the fucking G.I. Joe room, man. Same fucking missile. Every time I look this one up, I don't see the missile. I see parts in this, and they want crazy money for it. Same. Let me show you. Let me just cover this because I'm actually in my underwear, and I don't want nobody to get excited. I'll be right back. After these messages, Mike will be right back. I should just brought it in here so you guys can see. Actually, I think I did mean to do this, but I was so busy doing so much other stuff, I wasn't really paying attention. Okay, so here we go. Check this out. It might be, nah, it's the same fucking color. It just looks darker because it's on a darker vehicle. So just for you guys out there, now mind you, my simple ass could have got this missile a lot cheaper and stuff like that. Like, again, this is the Night Force version of this. And like, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna take them off and I'm gonna show you. It is the same color, same everything. That's the reason why I'm calling this a G.I. Joe hack video for those out there who may not know or whatever. No, okay. Actually, it is a slight difference. It is a slight difference. So it is a little darker on the, but if you don't give a fuck, hey, like they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? If you don't really give a shit and you get that missile, then just get it. Who gives a shit, right? But I did notice now that, yeah, it is slightly a little darker on the Night Force one. So I guess that's not really a hack. I guess that's just fucking Hasbro being a step ahead of us, bastards. And I was like, wait a minute, and I'm looking it up, but it is slightly a little redder on the Night Force. This one is definitely a lot lighter. I thought it just looked darker because yeah, it is. So okay, yeah. It is slightly more, it's a little bit more red. This is more of a pink. Like it is noticeable. I mean, if you have them next to each other, you would notice it. But if you don't have them next to each other, you wouldn't notice it. But at this particular point, I don't give a fuck. So I already ordered the missile for this. But yeah, I don't give a shit. I just want it over with. It's basically there. It's about the same. So at this point, I don't care. Here's another one. So this is Gears. This is 1994. The Power Fighter. Now you got the Viper that comes with the other one, which I got from this guy named Paul, who lives literally like minutes away from Fam Alex. I didn't get this one from him. I got the Cobra one with the suit. Everything was complete, and I paid up for it, but I still got a good steal for it. He gave me a really good deal on it, compared to what they go for and what he could have done. So thank you again for that, Paul. This is somewhat complete. I had this for a while. It took me a while to figure out what I needed, and every once in a while I get caught up in other shit, and I'm like, So again, today I was up here at 5:30. I didn't mean to say I was up at 5:30. I was up here looking shit up, trying to just go through stuff. So I spend a lot of vigorous time on just looking shit up. I finally found out what goes here. This is it's a smaller shoulder gun that's black. And some people do have them up here on eBay. So I finally brought it. So I gotta wait for that to come. So this is also coming to complete that. Finally. And and this thing cost me some money. The right, everybody has the left. I need the right rear landing gear for this. I think this is like my third Firebat or something like that. But you know, there is a Melloway version of this too. Speaking of hacks, it's more red. This is more of a crimson red, a darker, deeper blood red. The other one is lighter, and that one is the Melloway. For those who be like, hey, why this one looks a little different? You know, just keep in mind, if you see this crimson, aka more blood darker red, it is the one that comes with the Terradome. The Melloway one is red. It's more red. Trust me, you would know the difference. You would definitely know the difference. That is the Melloway. And some people may say, well, why you just don't sell these? Yeah, it's true. I could have sold this and made a couple bucks on it, but why sell something that's worth over $100 with the damn figure inside when I could just use an extra one? I like having extra build, army builders. I'm about to say build-a-figure. What is with me always saying build-a-figure? Because I think of build-a-figure, I think of Marvel Legends. When I think of that, I think of Build-A-Bear. My daughter when Build-A-Bears came out, Michelle was young. Just like I think of Monster High and Bratz a lot. Because that was the stuff that she liked growing up. So I did order this. This thing cost me money, man. When I tell you what I paid, you're going to be like, yeah. It's very hard to find. I saw it on eBay 2 weeks ago at $44. Some people have it. I mean, they have the fucking wheel for like $50. This one person had it up there. I really looked at the messages and everything. Messaged him. He messaged me back. And I said, fuck it. I went for it just to get it over with and out the way. Give me 1 second, y'all. That's my wife. Yeah.
I'll send you the address, 401 Broadway.
All right.
Yeah, it's on Canal Street, New York.
All right.
Okay.
All right, bye.
You got it. Walker and Broadway. Bye.
Yeah, we have to go and take care of some stuff in the city. So I got to meet my wife soon. I got her to get dressed and go to physical therapy. Then I got to take care of something else before I go meet up with her. Good thing is there's no storage units today. They are, but I don't really want them. They're a little too far. So, yeah. So this thing here, I just decided I wanted an extra one. They are expensive. They're dope. And again, I have him in here. Why not? If I decide to sell it, I could get like $150 for it all day with this in it. I don't even know where I got this from or what I paid for, but I'm pretty sure even if I paid $60 just for that one piece, I'm still in the green. That much I do know. So these two pieces, hopefully today's Monday, so hopefully this stuff will be here by or before Friday. Either way, they've been sitting here for at least 8 months or more. So another couple days or weeks not gonna hurt it, and these will be complete. So I'm happy with that. So yeah. Let me just move back a little bit so I can just put these to the side. I'll just put these right here. So this way I know those pieces are coming. And then of course this as well. Like I said, I just realized now. I mean, it is still a hack, because if you really don't care, I mean, you could tell. And it's not just because this is white and this is black. Of course, it's being whiter, it's gonna make it look brighter, and this being black, it's gonna make it look darker. But the colors are slightly, like I said, just to show you guys again, it is a slight difference. It is a slight difference. Not much, but I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? If I get what I want for both of these collections, fine. If I don't, they'll just sit here. You know, because I don't give a shit. I mean, am I in a rush to get rid of them? No. Do I need to get rid of them? No. I just decided, you know, if I get something I want, I'm comfortable with it, and somebody else can move on, whether they're a collector or a reseller. They can make money. I can make money. I can move on. I'm fine with that. And if not, I have people that want to cherry pick. No, I'm not. No. You either buy it all or don't. And you got a lot of haters and assholes on Facebook Marketplace that act stupid, say stupid stuff, and I don't have time for that. So I took it down and re-put it back up again. But now I'm just ignoring people instead of me falling into their trap and just going in on them because they're stupid. It's just better to ignore them. Why sit there and play their game? Because like 90% of the people who wants this stuff and their resellers can't afford it. They don't even have like $4,000 or $7,000-$8,000 to rub together. So you know what? It's easier for a person that don't have the money to sit here and scold you and get mad at you because they can't afford it. And that's what happens. A lot of these guys out here, they are entitled and they're mad because, they can't afford it. They want you to give it to them for nothing. Just like if you go to the flea market, you got sneakers and stuff. Everybody, you give a person an inch, they take a mile. That's just how a lot of people are. You know what I mean? And it gets in taxing very, very quickly. This, on the other hand, I'm just going to sit back and wait for this. Because I'm not giving nobody no fucking $50, $60. I don't understand why this little silver shit costs that much money. Now, yeah, it is made by Hasbro, but it's not part of the G.I. Joe line. For those out there who don't know, Street Fighter is officially part of the G.I. Joe line. Now, Mortal Kombat through Hasbro, they are made of G.I. Joe figures and stuff like that, but they are not officially G.I. Joe. They are basically Hasbro made Mortal Kombat figures, but they are not part of the G.I. Joe line. Like, a lot of us do consider them part of the line because it's by Hasbro, same mold, same everything, but they are not officially G.I. Joe. They are Hasbro toys, but not G.I. Joe. There's two versions. I should have brought that in here too. There are two versions of this boat. The other one is complete. One is a lighter blue. Obviously, the lighter blue one is in the other room. Actually, the lighter blue one is it's a little dark. It's a little lighter than this blue on my wristband. It is significantly lighter. And there's two versions, and of course, this one. I did get this on eBay. The guy never even responded to me. I don't know why this missile is dark gray instead of it being black. It's supposed to be black, but it never got back to me. But I just said, fuck it. I left it anyway. All I need to complete this now is just that depth charge. But I can't see myself giving anybody close to $50, $60 for that little piece of silver. That's fucking nuts. I'll sit back and I'll hold off and wait. And the funny thing is, I actually had it. I lost it somewhere. I think I lost it on the way from Alex's house coming back home from Joe Fest, because we got home early, and that's how I broke that Melloway Warthog, which I have downstairs. I have to replace that whole thing because it's shattered. And I lost this because I did buy this. I finally found somebody who had one, and I lost it. And I think I paid like fucking $30 for it. And the person didn't even want to give it up. But I did get one, and I lost it. Yeah. And then for this, I don't remember if I brought anything for this. This is missing, and I'm upset because the guy who sold me and Eric the whole Night Force collection told me that everything was complete. He said the only thing that was missing from here, it was something, but it wasn't nowhere near what, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot more than what he said. I do need to get the depth charge, the depth charge cover, which is a gray instead of black. It's like a dark gray color, same color as this. So I do need that, because the good thing is I have both of the depth charges, which is a lot more expensive than that cover. I need one gun, which I do think I did order it. And I need the missile bay itself. I got all 4 missiles in here, but the missile bay I need. I didn't know that, and I think that was the only thing that's supposed to be missing. But the real expensive, hard to find piece is here, which is the lens. The lens is actually in there, as you can see it. That thing is probably like $150, $200. You're probably like, get the fuck, no. Lenses are expensive, man. The only other hydrofoil I need is the blue one, which I try to make an offer with this one guy at the show when we were leaving. But his wife was like, yo, he didn't want to do Zelle. I don't understand why he was cool with Venmo and some other shit. And I said, listen, I could either Zelle to you or Cash App. It's the same shit. He was being pig-headed about it, so we didn't make the deal. Because at that point, I couldn't take no more money out the bank that day because it was Sunday. And I had to call my bank and do some shit just to get that extra bread for that specific day. And again, being that it wasn't a business day, it was a day where any bank, let alone my bank. So I said, listen, I can do and he was just being a dickhead about it. And I'm pretty sure to this point, he either broke or he still has that particular piece. So to you asshole. But he had the blue one, which I need. Obviously here I have the original hydrofoil. Then I have the Tiger Force one here. Then I have that camo one, which I don't remember who makes that, but whatever. So this does go in the other room. I'm just, I just keep everything here as a reminder so I know what I need. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And, it's about time to get that, taken care of. And then, I got these ones here. And then here we have the Night Raven. Now, this is I must have had like 15 of them. But this is my 6th one. And I say 6 because I'm keeping this one. I have the Strato Viper that I'm going to put in here. And I'm going to hang him up here in this room because I have 5 in the other room. And I love this. This is my favorite Cobra aircraft, period. Probably one of my favorite aircrafts in the whole G.I. Joe line. One of them, not the, but it's definitely my favorite Cobra vehicle. Well, Cobra airplane. The second one, of course, just like everybody else's, is the fucking, not the Condor, is the Rattler. So if I had 3, it would be this, the Rattler, then the Condor. But this is all my ones. I mean, look how fucking sexy and it's beautiful. So I do need that. I'm not giving nobody on eBay. Motherfuckers want like $35. That's fucking ridiculous for a little piece of plastic that goes on top of here. I just paid $20 with tax. I think I paid like $26 to get both of the covers here that go right here for both of these. So I went ahead and brought those. So those should be coming too. And then this would be somewhat complete. All I need is that top piece, and I call it a day. I like all my stuff to be, if I'm gonna keep it or have it in my collection, I like all this stuff to be complete. So I was on a fence on getting rid of this, but because it's in such great condition and it had the drone, and I think I got the drone from somewhere else, but being that it's 95% complete, I was like, fuck it. These things are like $150+. So I was like, fuck it. It just makes more sense just to get the parts I need and have another one complete. And then outside of that, you have the battle battle robots. You have the G.I. Joe made 2 of them, and then Cobra has 2 of them. These are called the Devastator battle robots. They basically use the same missiles and the same gun. Only thing difference is the body. This is like a floating, like a little hydrofoil thing, and this is like a little boat. I mean, a little like Trek or whatever you want to call it. But they both, okay. Oh, thank God I see it. I forgot that these things are always like spitting out the little fan. But they use the same gun and the same missiles and the same antenna. So I did have an antenna, and I broke it, and I tried to glue it back, and I don't know what happened to it. Somehow it just mysteriously grew legs and went away. I to this day still don't understand how the hell that happened, but whatever. So all I need to complete these, because my G.I. Joe ones, I actually have them complete thanks to Eric, and I think Eric is how I got both of those complete, the G.I. Joe ones, which is ironic because the Joe ones are the harder the ones to find than these. But if you do find these, the hardest thing to find for these are the antennas. Again, they use the same gun, and they use the same missiles and the same antenna. The only difference is this is a land vehicle and this is a sea vehicle. That's the only difference. Same color, same everything. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I need that to complete. I don't have parts coming for this, so I don't have parts coming for this. So let me put this here. I strategically do things a certain way, so this way I know what I have coming and what I need to still look for. And I've been looking for those for like over a year. Over a year. All right. And then looking at another hack. For those out there who are like me, who don't know the difference between a lot of the Melloway Joes and because you know, like some of you might be like, oh well, the only difference between most, I'll say about 80, I'll say 75% of the Melloway G.I. Joe from the original G1 82 to 94 wave is the file cards. The file cards on the Melloway ones have a red backing. You know, they'll have, instead of it being cardboard like this, or if it's like a carded figure and have like the drawing or whatever on the other side, the whole back, it's pre-cut, like it's machine cut perfect, and all the backing is red. File card is red on the back, and it's a pre-cut file card. If you, like me, don't really give a flying fuck about file cards, you can take the same figure, because it's the same mold, same everything. And again, most of their figures, or most of their Melloways, they do have some Melloways that are a whole different color, but then most of them it's the same figure. They just call it a different name and give it a weapon, and you have a Melloway. Perfect hack. If you want to complete your complete your collection and you don't give a fuck about file cards, hey, you got yourself a Melloway figure. Just to give you guys a perfect example. I know I've showed this a million times, and I'll just show it a million more. Alright. I'm going to show you this. It'll probably be a lot less confusing for you guys. Okay. So see, back here, you have Cobra Viper. Instead of it being a Cobra Python Patrol officer and a Cobra Televiper, it should be a Cobra. It should be a Cobra Python Patrol Televiper, right? But you see here, they call it Cobra Televiper, right? But he has on Python Patrol outfit. Same figure as here. Nothing, no different. You see the difference? Not one difference. The only difference is he comes with this knife that came with an earlier Joe, and that gun that came with another Joe. And in here, I have the knife at the bottom, and all I need now is that other gun, and he's complete. That's basically the hack. And you see here, this is the Cobra Viper. It's Python Patrol Viper, not Cobra, just Python Patrol Viper. And he comes with two guns. He comes with this gun here that I have a scratch over, and the same gun that's in blue. That's the only difference between a lot of these guys, except Tripwire. Tripwire, he's a whole different color. He's black with gray. And he comes with Salvo's gun here without those sliding disc grenades, and I think that's Free Fall's gun. So he basically comes with this, and then here you see Falcon. Falcon comes with this gun and a DJ gun in a different color, and it's the same Lieutenant Falcon, but it's a Melloway. So you know, like, just to give you guys a prime example, and here, look here, you got Gung Ho. Gung Ho come with two of those ninjas, I think Slice and Dice's swords, and he doesn't come with his chevrons. He doesn't have any chevrons on his arms and like that. No insignia. That is the Melloway version of him. This then the same thing for you see here, they call it Cobra Snow Viper, but he's actually called the Cobra Serpent. Just no nothing. Only difference is he come with these two weapons here. This Snake Eyes is totally different, because this Snake Eyes is basically the version 1 Snake Eyes, or basically 83, because it's swivel arm. It's the 83 swivel arm Snake Eyes, but they painted his face gray. They gave him a gray mask. Trust me, he has the same exact stamp as the 83, 82, 83, but they painted his mask gray, and they gave him these weapons. So you could do one of two hacks. You could try to find him, or you could take a 83 version, and you can you know, do a dark gray and just paint a mask, and there you fucking have it. Those are hacks you can do. This Zurana, as you see, she comes with this sword, that gun, Melloway. version 2 Roadblock. He comes with a gun like that. That gun, you got yourself a Melloway. Same thing with Outback. Outback still comes with the flashlight, but he comes with both of these guns, and you have yourself a Melloway. Same thing with this one, Heavy Metal. Instead of him coming with the Mauler, he comes on. Well, this person put the envelope. This envelope he comes with, but he comes with this gun, that gun, and you got yourself a Melloway. That's basically it. Those are hacks. Those are G.I. Joe hacks you can deal with. I mean, if you want, there's no shame in my game. I'm not gonna go out there and give nobody $300 or $400 fucking dollars just to get a loose figure, just to get him loose with a fucking file card that's pre-cut with a red back. I'm not doing that, and I'm definitely not spending $700-800 to have him in the bag. That's crazy. I mean, if I can get these figures at a cheap going rate price and just find those weapons, me personally, I'm fine with that. Some people, it's the same. It is the same figure. Only difference is you don't have the Melloway file card. So why sit there and go crazy for that? That's just me. I learned these hacks myself because I had to do a lot of research, ask a lot of people, and do a lot of research because I was like, hey, what's the difference between the regular figures and the Melloways that aren't a different color? And they're like, oh, it's the same figure. Only difference is they just gave you different weapons with the figure, and they called it a Melloway, and they gave you a file card, and the file card is pre-cut, and on the other side of it, it's red, instead of it being cardboard or having the imprint and artwork from the blister pack. And I'm like, oh, okay. And there you have it. And then here, I have another Cobra bat here. I changed his legs. Thanks to my boy Hector. Saturday he had some G.I. Joe stuff, and he actually had a Cobra bat backpack with some other parts on it, and I still had this one. And so now all I need, I did order the blowtorch. This is a laser. So he comes with the claw, a laser, a regular hand, and a blowtorch. The blowtorch is like $15 with taxes and everything, so I got it. And I even ordered the other the chest piece. So now all I would need is a hand, and I have a $70 to $80 figure. I mean, I have a lot of Cobra bats, and this is the Cobra bat that I had as well, as you see here. I did the same thing I did with this one. I basically just brought the chest plate, glued it in a couple, like put glue in certain areas so it don't come out, or when you squeeze it, it won't run or anything, and it just stayed. And again, from Heck, I got the backpack with I think 3 of the pieces, and there you have it. So all I need for him is also the blowtorch. So but if I get a blowtorch, he'd be a complete one, and this one would still need 3 pieces. It needs the blowtorch in the hand to complete it. And yeah, so that's basically all the hacks for G.I. Joe. For those out there, just keep in mind, go out there if you can. Go out there and get a book. I gotta get the same book over and over again because this book is messed up. And this book is not that great neither. I'm gonna tell you guys why. So I'm glad I didn't end this video. But this is a good book to get. I took my books with me yesterday. I took this one and that crappy skinny G1 book. And I'm glad I did take it because a guy named Dan I know, he wasn't there this weekend, or yesterday, but his son was with some other people, and he had a Steel Brigade guy, but the one that he had, I already have it, and I did make an offer on it because I was like, you know what, I'll just change the crotch and stuff like that. So I'll wait for Dan and see what he says, and maybe we'll meet up and we'll do a deal. Because this one here, I mean, it's weird because the crotch, because the one he has, I have that one. I think that is the E or the. It was one of them, the E or the B or some shit like that. But the whole holster and gun, along with the holster strap that goes around the leg, is black, and it has these those black lines going across it. But it has the same crotch, so I would actually use the weapons and the crotch for him, because that way I would complete this one, and I'll just leave that one and maybe sell him with this Tiger Force Outback to somebody. You know what I mean? That's basically it. I would just, change parts on it and I would complete mine. So I don't mind paying $150 for it, just to do that, just as Frankenstein parts and complete mine. Then because he gave me a good deal on it, but and then in this book, I was looking at the because it has a DTC section, which basically means direct to consumer. But I was looking up some stuff yesterday, and I was getting even the guys who let me sit there and go through their GI Joes. I told the guy, I said, "Yo, I think you would have made a lot more money." I told him, I said, "I think you would have made a lot more money between." I mean, I wasn't here yesterday. He said, "I think we did good yesterday." I said, "You would have made a lot more money today and yesterday if you," because he had like 3 bins of like He-Man and Turtle fodder stuff, like the vintage shit, on the table, and the GI Joes he had underneath the table. I thought that was stupid, because the GI Joe stuff he had in like the card, like those card, like the cardboard that you display a whole bunch of cards in and shit. I think it has like 4 or 5 trays, and they're big. They're long. They're not that wide, but they're long. But it has like 4 or 5 trays. He had that shit underneath the tables. And I'm like, why? Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people in their sense? Like, he should have put that shit on the table and had, because these are big fucking plastic bins with stuff in it. You should have had that shit underneath the table, where you had the GI Joes, and you should have the GI Joes on top. And I told him that. I said, yeah, I think it'll make more common sense if you put the GI Joes up top the table, and you put the other stuff underneath, because you have GI Joe figures in here that are anywhere from like $8 to fucking $30-$40. And I told him just like that. And then you have toys in here that you're selling for $5, 2 for $20, and they're in bigger bins, and I just like, and then I just went like that, and I said, you know what, it's not my stuff. And he stood there looking at me like, this nigga is right. Like, I don't know, but a lot of you white folks aren't that bright. This may disrespect or hurt some people, but I'm gonna tell you, a lot of you guys aren't really that bright, man. Because that was stupid. And not only because I had to sit there, bend down, and pick up these heavy ass things, but it just didn't make no sense. It would make more sense to have people. Anyway, I'm not saying. Let me shut up. So I realized this book isn't that great neither, because there are a lot of figures that are missing that should be in here that aren't in here. Like, you see on the top it says DTC. That means direct to consumer. Now, right here where my finger is tapping, that says Cobra Trooper. There's a Cobra Officer that should be in this book too, or pictured on here, that's not pictured on here. Now, I looked it up on my phone, and my phone was giving me a couple different things, and I was like, okay. And he had a cheap price on it compared to what I've seen it for, so I grabbed it. Then there was another figure I saw, but I couldn't look. I looked at my book. I must have looked in this book at least 20 times yesterday. At least 20 times yesterday. And it was just weird. And even him and his son noticed I was getting frustrated. And he said, yo, you good over there? It looked like you're getting a little frustrated. If you want, you can put it up top of the. I said, nah, it has nothing to do with the table. It's just like, I'm just, going through the book to make sure I'm not missing anything. And a lot of the figures I did pick up, I thought I didn't have. I wound up having, I must have took out about 45 figures. Out of 45 figures, 7 of them is what I took. 45 figures, and I only took 7. The other freaking 38 figures I already had. Exactly. So that would have been more money that I would have lost out on. And some of y'all probably like, this goofy, silly ass nigga. Yeah, that was definitely silly and goofy. So this one figure is not in here, but it is a 06 figure. And that is This is a 2006 DTC fan club figure. It's not in this book. So sometimes you can't even fucking rely on the books. It is a Cobra Night Viper. Come to find out, this is not even a 20 fucking, this is not even a 20, he put $25.50 on it. I don't know how long he had it in there, but this is a 60 plus dollar figure. It is a 2006 direct to consumer fan club favorite. And it is the Night Viper. Look it up yourself. 2006 DTC fan club Night Viper. And it kept coming up 26, and I'm looking back here and I see the artwork, and I'm like, and I was like, you know what, Mike, grab it. Fuck it. I just said, you know what, just grab it. Because I looked up on my phone and it kept saying direct to consumer fan club. So then I look in this book in the fan club area, and I didn't find it there neither. So not only was it not in the 05, 06 DTC area, but it wasn't even in the fan club or exclusive area. But something kept telling me, grab it, just take it, just take it. I was like, fuck it. So he gave me all 70 of these figures for 70. Then he knocked off another $5. And he said, you know what, dude, I'm gonna knock off $5. And you're right, I should have did. This is what I should have did. You know, but now it's like, it's already like late in the day. I don't give a shit no more. But the next time I'm gonna do what you said. And I said, yeah, it makes sense. And it did, because people can bend down, grab some stuff, put in their sleeve, put in their pocket, or steal it. But if it's, you know, you got G.I. Joes in like a 5 or 6 aisle, big ass long card sleeve box. 3 of them. 3 big boxes of it underneath a table. And then you got 3 big ass clear bins full of vintage Turtles, other fodder, and some He-Man figures at $5 each, 2 for $20. I mean, $5 each, 5 for $20. That shit should have been underneath the table. Like, if you got it, just didn't make no fucking sense. But anyway, I did grab that. I can't check it off in my book because it's not in my book. But got him, and then the same thing for this one, and I couldn't find him neither. And this was even harder. This is a Cobra officer. Took a picture and shit. Come to find out, it's a 2008 direct-to-consumer club exclusive. And this is the Cobra officer. In 06, 05, they did the Cobra Trooper, but they didn't do the Cobra officer. That's why these two were fucking hard to find. And he's basically worth what I paid for all 7 of these figures. I'm gonna show you the yellow 5 and why I got the yellow 5. And he alone is worth what I paid for all of them. And then you got this guy. He's like a $25, $30 figure. I mean, if I still knew this was 2008, being that it's an O-ring. And again, I don't know a lot because I didn't even know 07 or 08 they still did O-ring figures. I'm pretty sure Fam Eric knew. I didn't. Again, I'm still learning about this, about the G2 stuff. I do get excited when I am able to get stuff that I need. And again, you know, some of you are like, okay, well, why are you spending so much money on this stuff? Because the more until I sell this stuff, if I do or not, the more complete I get with the shit, the more money I can get and the better it is. And if it doesn't sell, I would at least have a complete collection of it and I would be closer to it. You know what I'm saying? Than it missing or having pieces missing. So, all right, so this is number 3. It says now complete. Now, when I wrote on this, I knew that I already have this particular figure, but I need parts in here to complete mine. And he was only like $8.50. And again, all 7 of these figures, I only paid $65 for it. So again, that one 06 Night Viper figure paid for all these guys. So that was a good deal. So there you have him. And I already everything I'm showing you now is already in the book. And then here I needed him, which is the it says fully got now, which means I wrote that down so I know I needed him. And he was on another $8.50. This is Gung Ho without the beard. I needed this particular Gung Ho. I have the same one with the beard, so this is the variant without the beard. So I need that whole figure with everything. So now he's fully complete. Then here, same thing, fully got now, $10.50. Sergeant Hacker, and this is another variant. The one I needed with the darker face and shit. So he's a variant, obviously. And then here we have, says got complete now. This is a Cobra Claw guy. Again, I only needed his weapons. He's just a basically army builder. I basically need the weapons to complete him. So that's cool. And then last but not least, it says fully complete now, needed him. I put him down, Alpine. And he's one of the ones I needed to complete. He was the one fine out of the 3 G.I. Joes that are, I know which one this is from, but it's the 2024. So I needed him as well. So that's more stuff I got rid of. So that's basically everything, including the hacks and shit. And, you know, the reason why I'm saying that is because now you guys can figure it out. So if you out there and you find that that 1990 white Triple T tank with the red and stuff on it, and you need the side cannons, the back piece, and the missiles, and you come across or you find the Night Force version of the Triple T tank, just take it. You know what I'm saying? Just take it and add those pieces to Frankenstein that piece, because that piece is worth basically twice as much. Like, this is worth, this thing is worth 2 to almost 3 times what this goes for. And again, the colors aren't really that different. And again, if you come across this gutted and you have an extra one of this, or you come across both and you're like, fuck it, you need the parts for the, hey, there you go. Now you can complete this by taking parts off of that. You know what I'm saying? So just to give you guys some thoughts on that. You know, and that's the hacks, man. You know, I mean, that's what I'm doing. And, you know, it's all legit. It's all part of the same line. None of it is repo pieces. Some people don't mind repo pieces. Me, on the other hand, I do. And let me just show you guys real quick what I'm doing here. So right here, Joe's needed from 04. I need heavy duty with the light skin. I have the dark skin version. Then I from 04, I also need Back Blast with the darker eyebrows. The one I have, his eyebrows are brown, and there's one that has the black. From 03, I need Wreckage, the pale face version, which I'm actually, somebody has like under 11 hours left on it, and I've been watching that shit for at least a month. And I reached out, and hopefully he takes the offer on it. If he takes the offer on it, then I will have that, because there's 2 versions of Wreckage. There's the darker painted face, and then there's the pale face one. And the face and the hands are painted the same color. So I need him. And you know, the guy has $70 on it. And his price is a lot cheaper than everybody else. Everybody else on eBay wants like close to 90 to over 100 for him. And then from 03, I need Scalpel with the painted skin. He's a figure that's very hard to tell a difference between the pigmentation molded in him versus the face being painted. It is kind of difficult in comparison. And then also from 03, I need the Neo Viper. I need 2. I need the Neo Viper with the darker yellow emblem. I have the bright one. And then there's another Neo Viper that's blue or black or something like that. And his emblem is like a bright red and then like a crimson red, almost like the Firebat. Same difference between like the Melloway Firebat I was telling you guys about and that one. So I need that as well. And then what I brought that I'm waiting for, like I said, I paid $20, and whatever price I'm telling you right now is the price with shipping and taxes. So I paid $20 for the 94 Gears power fighter gun. So that'll finally be complete. And then I paid $28 for 1986 Night. Why did I say Night Raven? Oh, the Night Raven rear wheel covers. I paid $10 for the 86 Cobra Bat chest plate. And then I also paid $21 for the flamethrower. That was the flamethrower, the taxes, and shipping. And then I paid $38 for the 96 Firebat right landing gear. And I paid $40 for the 89 Night Force Night Ray rear gun. Oh, okay. I'll dig it. Okay, so yeah. And that gun was like $35, but the taxes or some shit was like an extra couple of bucks. So that's why I paid what I paid for it. And you know, any parts for Night Force stuff is gonna be expensive. So some of you are probably like, "What? That's a lot. $40? It is. $40 is a lot of money for a gun." But everybody, a lot of other people online wants like fucking $50, $60 for one of those little guns that go in the back of the fucking the Night Ray, which is crazy because it's a different color and those parts are easily lost. So once I get that, all I need now is the depth charge cover and the missile bay. And then that would be fully complete, which it should have been complete when me and Eric paid all that fucking money for this stuff. And we didn't even really go through it and really look at it when we came back on Saturday night, because I could have made it right, or I could have tried to make it right with the guy, or the guy could have tried to make it right with me on that Sunday. So I ain't really noticed anything until I got home. So it is what it is. So yeah, man. So yesterday I got those 7 figures from the the Toy Con New Jersey, and I'm happy because some I needed them, and to pay $8.50 for a figure, to get an extra figure with weapons I needed to complete it, I'm always cool with that. So I would never sit there and argue that or worry about that, because that's another check and a line going across it. I did try to look at, some people did have some Transformers. A lot of guys who had the Transformer 86 movie figures. This one dude, he was out of his fucking mind. Like, he was like a white Asian. Like, he just wanted too much. He wanted eBay. Fuck retail. He wanted eBay price. I'm like, I'm not paying that. He wanted $90 for Megatron. And then this other guy, he had an attitude in the corner, and I was asking him prices, and he was like, ugh. And I was like, yo, my man, you good? And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, yo, like, you act like you have a fucking attitude, man. All I'm doing is actually, I said, this is why you don't got nobody at your fucking booth. I said, go fuck yourself. And I walked away from him. Then every time I walked back 6 times, I just kept giving him eye contact, making him very uncomfortable, because he pissed me the fuck off. Like me, when I have an attitude when I'm selling at the flea market, it's directed to specific people for being disrespectful and stupid. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. Not because it's me, but because it's just common sense on why I have an attitude or whatever. But this guy was just being a fucking asshole to be an asshole. You don't get mad at the world because you hate yourself or you going through shit, bro, because that has nothing to do with me. But I gotta hurry up and get out of here because it's like 11, and then I gotta go to physical therapy. Then from there I gotta go take care of something else, and then I gotta go and meet my wife at like 2 o'clock or 3 or some shit in by Chinatown, and I gotta find parking. So yeah. I gotta hurry up and get my ass out of here, because it's, by the time I get dressed, it's gonna be like 12. By the time I get to physical therapy, that's gonna be like 30 to 45 minutes. Then by the time I gotta do so, yeah. So yeah, man, thanks for watching. Peace out. 1.